Okay, we have a closed sale today, and we wanted to talk to everybody about what that process looked like and what it really takes to sell a property right now in the Forgotten Coast in our area. So, Christy, I wanted to ask you a few questions. And the first one, so just tell us a little bit about the property, how long it was on the market, and what you first listed it for.
So property went out at 324. So 324,000. It was right in town, Garrison Avenue in Port St. Joe, ex flood zone, great property. And when we listed it at 324, the comp showed that it should be at 324. Fast forward a little bit, I'd say I think we did waited 30 days and the market had changed drastically. So there's a couple different variables in that. DR Horton put out a new neighborhood right on Garrison and put their sales numbers out. So that affected our price. And then we had two different closings right there in that pocket that were a little lower. So all numbers pointed to a reduction. And thankfully, the sellers were awesome listeners and were really on board. So we only had to do one reduction, but it was a big one. And we went from 324 down to 299.
So then after you went down to 299, what kind of time frame did that take from the reduction to the closing?
So just over 90 days on market. So, we still were on the market for about 2 months, but in that 2 month period, the buyers, I had done a virtual showing for them. And then they were actually out of state. So then they came and actually saw it in person. So, we saw a significant amount of action once we did that reduction, just hugely in numbers, as you know, on social media alone, just that just reduced social post increased our visibility and the eyes on the property tenfold, I think.
Well, and one of the things I wanted to mention was your buyers. So the buyers on this contract, tell us a little bit about how you found them or how they
Yeah,
found you.
little different of a story there. So I'm actually in a lot of different Facebook groups and love answering questions and helping people. And the buyer actually was in one of those groups and had a lot of questions about our area and about flood zones. And she was getting some really bad advice and some really bad answers. And I was kind of going back and forth with her, answering questions that she had. And then we actually ended up direct messaging each other. And I finally told her, hey, look, I'm a real estate agent. So I promise you, I can give you the right information, but please don't listen to these people because they are telling you lies. Um,
And maybe not even what they think that it maybe is the truth in a different part of Florida, or maybe they just are making it up. But either way, you let her know that you're trusted because you are here locally. And I think that's a big deal of gaining that
no,
trust and that
absolutely.
relationship.
Well, and people were talking about everywhere in Florida, you have to have flood insurance. Well, no, 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 you don't. There is this land of X flood zone that you don't have to have flood insurance. And, our team is passionate about helping and putting the right information out there. So I love that I was able to give her like almost exact numbers of what this property is going to cost and what the insurance is going to cost. And it was nowhere near what people were telling her online.
One of the things I think we should tell people during the process of the sale, we actually renegotiated the insurance price for the seller
We
because
did.
they had insurance that had not been shopped. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So when the seller told me the cost of her flood insurance or her overall homeowner's insurance, I was a little leery of why that was. So we actually sat down as a team, you, me, and Brian, put the insurance agent on speakerphone and I don't want to say grilled her, but I mean, we got down to some facts that they didn't shop her insurance in years. And actually, there was a reduction in the insurance, and there was even more that she could do to the house if she wanted to. If she wasn't selling, it'd be great. But great information for the buyers now. Now they know that roof clips need to be added. It's not a huge deal. And once those are added, the insurance will even go down even more.
Yeah.
So, I love the fact that we can take it a step farther and try to help even, if it's not in that whole sales realm, but just to help with insurance numbers. You
Yeah.
know, it's it's valuable.
It is. And I do think one of the things I love about being in a group on a team with you guys, the three of us, we do really care about helping people, not just in the sale, but after the sale. So I just saw a text message that you sent our group that was from the buyer. They have already moved their car into the parking lot or the driveway, and um, that they are going to have the connection to us for questions that happen once you live here and once you're living daily
Yeah.
life because they're full timers. So
Yeah.
I think that's
And
awesome.
that's exciting. We get to live this beach life with them.
Yeah.
They are now part of our little small community. And what a blessing it is that we get to continue to strengthen that relationship and help if they need a handyman, or where should I send my kid to daycare,
Yeah.
or what's the best local beach. Just those little questions. I love that we can form those relationships with people, and it isn't just a sale or a transaction and then you never speak to the people again.
Again, yeah, I agree. Um, so I'm going to do a shameless plug then, because in that text,
And
I had asked Christy if she had invited them to our event, which is going to be June 12th. So if you're watching this and you are looking for community and things to do, we have a event that our brokerage, Coastal Realty Group, is sponsoring, and it's to benefit the Humane Society, and it's a bingo night. And so Christy's also heading that up, and we're helping. Lots of little elves are making that process. Tons of community support and donating items, but you invited the new buyers to that to come and to meet people and to be a community, part of our community, which I think is it's just all really cool. It's really cool to be a part of. And
yeah.
so yeah, anything else you want to say to the people who may be watching this?
It's why we do what we do. And I think it makes us different. And I like it. It feels so good to help people.
Yeah,
It's not about the sales then, it's actually about what matters. And, what matters to this buyers is creating memories with their little girl at the beach. And I get to be a part of that.
yeah.
That's extremely special. And I value it. And again, thankful that we are on a team, that there's three of us. If, I don't know the answer, you may know the answer. And if you don't know the answer, Brian's going to know the answer, certainly.
Yeah.
You
And,
know,
and I think we should mention I'm in Texas. That's why we are not sitting at a table together, and we're still bringing valuable content together because, you're keeping the fort there with Brian, holding down the fort in Port St. Joe. I came to see some of my family, which is really, we all share very strong value in family. And so being on a team gives us the ability. So even if I'm out of the office physically, we can still bring some good energy and good valuable information no matter where we are, and then help each other out from a team aspect of being somebody's always available. So
I don't know how real estate agents do it alone.
I don't either. I don't either.
Juggles a lot.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for this episode. This is our first podcast. So
Woo-hoo.
yeah, stay tuned. We're going to put a clip of this on Instagram and then head on over to the YouTube channel to watch everything about what the sale of 2808 Garrison was all about. So talk to you later.